Hi, I'm Sally Thibault.
Hello, I'm Kris Barrett.
And welcome to the Autism Parent Training video series. In this video today, we're going to be talking about how you come to terms emotionally with your child's diagnosis.
This is going to be really different for everybody. Like this whole autism journey, there's not just a path you can follow. So there's no right or wrong way to deal with the diagnosis. And we thought we would just share with you our experiences and what happened with us, and also some things not to do that we did. So when Tim was diagnosed, we mentioned in the first video that we got a very quick diagnosis, and he was very young. It was very, very obvious. There was something very different about Tim. And I think also by the time the pediatrician said the words, and he said to me, you can stick your head in the sand or we can say the word, I think I already knew. So for me, when I got that label, and I say that, I don't think labels are a bad thing, and we'll talk about that down the track. But when I got that label and the diagnosis, I was like, right, I'm going to fix this. Now I've got something to fix. Now I knew what it was called. I thought, oh, that's fine. This is a good thing because I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do every therapy. I'm going to do, I'm going to be Wonder Woman and I'm going to fix this. No problem. This is great news. This is great news. So off I went like a woman possessed, like literally, to the detriment of my health, my marriage, my neurotypical daughter, to my friends, everything. Just all consumed. I'm going to run around. I'm just going to be 20 hours a day at therapy and all the rest. So obviously in hindsight, that was my coping mechanism because it meant that I didn't really have to face. I was so busy doing so much that I didn't have to sit with it and face it. Now, here's the wonderful thing about your body and your emotions. At some point, your body will say, enough. Can't do this anymore. And that happened to me probably around 18 months after the diagnosis. And I wrote about it in my book, and it was it happened in a McDonald's playground, and I literally had a breakdown and sobbed I literally sobbed. My husband was so worried. He just left work and came home because I was incoherent. I don't even know how I drove the kids home. And just went to bed and sobbed for literally 18 hours. So I literally just had a breakdown. Now then, obviously, that didn't just finish there. I'd done a lot of damage to my body. And, there was a lot of drinking wine at night to need to numb myself, right? Because I didn't want to sit and think about anything. I needed to either be going or numb. That's all I could do at that point. So then, for the next 10 years, I suffered with insomnia and adrenal fatigue and, still probably only, a little bit on the surface going there. I think it was probably, a good 10 years before I could actually sit with it and go, you know what, it's okay to be sad. Because people say, how are you? And it's like, I'm good. What were they going to do to help? They couldn't do anything to help me. Oh, I don't know how you do it. You're so strong. What choice do I have? You reckon I like to do this. You do what you have to do. So that's how I still had my armor on, even after that breakdown. I reckon I still had my armor on for another good 10 years before I could sit with it and then get angry. Like, this is what my life was supposed to be. Why can't we do things like a normal family? Why are things so hard? Why do I see my child in pain? And then realize that, I used to rationalize to myself, oh, well, at least he doesn't have cancer or something. And it's like, well, hang on, my grief over what's happening to my child isn't any worse just because there's another child suffering with something else. So it took a really long time. And I think from, Sally's probably going to end up in the same place that I am, and saying to you that the biggest thing was being able to say, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be really pissed off. It's okay to be really sad and just wonder what our life might have been. It's okay to allow yourself those moments and process that. And really at the end of the day, to understand that you know, you need to deal with it in some way at some time so that you have the strength. You know, you put on your own oxygen mask, you've got a lot to do for your child, so you need to be looking after you. But it took me a long time to realize that I was worth looking after, and that had to be a priority. So
absolutely, I think you've just nailed it there. You know, that, and I think that journey for all of us, I know, you know, because we didn't have the diagnosis for so long, I was always on the treadmill, you know, just what can we do next? Where are we going next? It was just therapy after therapy after therapy. I was always up at the school. I was always being called to the school. I remember a day when, you know, pulling up to pick David up, and there was a little boy standing there with a t-shirt on with blood all down his shirt. And, you know, and it was, my poor child was the one that was always blamed. Little did I know that this little kid had been, you know, causing drama, and then David would get into trouble because he didn't get what this kid was trying to do, and that took a long time to get to that. And I did a lot of things, I think, when I look back on now, that if I had been in a different head space and heart space, I would have coped with things a lot better. I reacted a lot. You know, I was angry a lot, but I took that anger out on the rest of the family.
Yeah.
You know, like screaming at the kids, and one night locking myself in the laundry, sitting on the floor sobbing in amongst all the dirty sheets and towels, and my husband saying, "What can we do? Like, what do you want us to do?" And I'm like, you can't see. I had just reached the end of my tether. I ended up with glandular fever and adrenal fatigue, and it wasn't until I came to terms, again, as Kris was talking about, you're allowed to be angry about this, and you're allowed to have emotions. I was resentful for a lot of things, because there were a lot of things in our lives that had to change because of it. But the beautiful thing about getting to that emotion was that I could release it. And we're going to do a couple of videos on this later on about how you release that emotion. Because I remember the day, and again, Kris talks about her book, No Cows Today, and in my book, David's Gift, I remember the day I was just literally broken. I have to tell you, I was broken. And I made the decision, I'm going to walk with this child. I'm going to stop pushing him from behind or pulling him from the front. I have to allow this child to be the best possible child. And as Kris said, I had to stop trying to fix this, as if there was something wrong with this child. And of course, as you know, there's nothing wrong with your child. They're just different, and they're trying to navigate this neurotypical world that isn't a kind, gentle world that they think it is. It's not them. It's the others that need to learn about judgment and compassion and kind-heartedness and acceptance. Our kids kind of walk right into us thinking, well, there's nothing, you know, like a hi, and they're treated often badly. For us, David was bullied a lot in school. So for that was really difficult for me. Even though I'm an extrovert and I get involved in committees and I do a whole heap of things, but I was always this angst in my mind. I, wake up at 2:00 in the morning, think, what can I do? Am I doing enough? And when I made that decision that day to walk with him and put his best possible, it's like I handed himself back to himself. And I will be guided by you. I'm going to stop trying to fix you, tell you what to do. I'm going to be very mindful. I'm going to be very intuitive about what we choose to do. And it just made such a huge difference to the relationship we had.
And to your energy too.
To my energy, which then in turn, as Kris mentioned, made a better marriage.
Yeah.
I became a better mother to my other children. Yeah. I tended to put a lot on especially my middle daughter, who's a very high achieving, I would say, good girl. You know, she always did the right thing, and I tend to put a lot of pressure on her. And it's only now in her adult years that we've been able to talk about this a lot. And I've chosen to apologize to her for life wasn't necessarily the best. However, she has said, I'm glad that I had the experience because it makes me so much better in my job and my career anyway. So their journey is part of this as well. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Yeah. So I hope this has kind of helped. If you leave a comment below, we'll read all these comments. Yeah. We're happy to answer any questions you have. So remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified when the next video is up. And please share with someone that you know may be struggling right now, either with a diagnosis or the aftermath of it. And
the very long aftermath.
Aftermath. And we look forward to spending some time with you on the next video.
See you next time.